My name's Jaedyn Graham. I'm from Springfield, Illinois, and I'm 19 years old. My biggest inspiration in life, I guess, is making art. If that's making videos, if that's making music, if that's anything creative. I like drawing, anything, honestly. I grew up always inspired by YouTubers and stuff, always inspired to make like YouTube videos and whatnot. So always at a young age, I was always editing videos and doing all kinds of stuff like that. My biggest life goal is probably to make a film, like a genuine film that either makes people laugh, gets a good cry out of somebody, or anything, you know, any art or any song, anything like that makes people move. A lot of the reason why I've made so many videos and documented so much of my life, even from like a young age, is I personally want to look back and see how I acted at a young age. I guess that was part of it that started. I always looked up to like gaming people who made like gaming videos. More recently, I've gotten into like vlogging and stuff like that. Really, just like expressing like what goes on in my daily life and like kind of who I am and stuff. Trying to get more of a perspective out there, or a digital footprint of like who I really am and whatnot. Omegle videos. I love Omegle videos. Hey, how are y'all?
We're good. How are you?
Y'all look miserable.
How do you think we could make it better?
Says the one that doesn't want to come to.
Don't even say it. Just don't say a word. I know.
Do you like it like that?
No, I don't.
Well, why are you doing it?
So I don't have to see your ugly ass face.
Got him. You look like.
So Omegle videos, I don't know what really started that. It was this guy named Zoe. The Omegle videos were like really fun to make because like each one progressively got like, you could tell like the editing got better. You could tell like I wanted to make them more. But no, Omegle videos were really fun to make. It was really fun to just mess around with a lot of people. I wish I could do that still, but rip Omegle. My music inspiration dates back to when I was a kid. It was always like Outkast. It was always that classical kind of like rap. The stuff that like made hip hop and whatnot. Even in like the music that I make right now, it reflects the music that I listened to like as a child.
Damn, you know. It's just I'm coming from the 217. If we catch them talking shit, then we send this out straight to heaven. We got Gloss 1911, 223s, we got big weapons. That boy talking crazy, but he lazy, he be inside saying, what the fuck? This shit ain't even making no sense. Buddy smoking Reggie kicked up, ain't he making a sense? That boy start to shout, he best watch out, cause I'll start getting pissed. Some of my goons, you get me mad, then I'll start throwing fists. If I like that, then I buy that, that's just how it is. Bitches try to trap me, what the fuck? I ain't racing your kids. Killing every track that I hop on, I just be making hits. I'm built to last, it's built to ass, you know I ain't never gon' miss. This shit is easy, I hop on the beat and then I snap. Your shit is cheesy, cut it out, cause all you do is cap. I don't care how good it is, that don't mean you know how to rap. Gotta chase the money, cause I can't be stuck chasing a gnat. Hey, coming from the 217. If we catch them talking shit, then we send this out straight to heaven. We got Gloss 1911, 223s, we got big weapons. That boy talking crazy, but he lazy, he be inside saying, what the fuck? This shit ain't even making no sense. Buddy smoking Reggie kicked up, ain't he making a sense? That boy start to shout, he best watch out, cause I'll start getting pissed. Some of my goons, you get me mad, then I'll start throwing fists. If I like that, then I buy that, that's just how it is. Bitches try to trap me, what the fuck? I ain't racing your kids. Killing every track that I hop on, I just be making hits. I'm built to last, it's built to ass, you know I ain't never gon' miss.
Who's guided me the most in my life? Honestly, I have, out of everybody. It's the craziest thing to think of, but growing up, I just was more into myself, I guess. I was more, I secluded myself from family. I shouldn't have. It was probably the worst thing for me, but I secluded myself to the point where I kind of raised myself almost. 12 years old, I was like making like burgers and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? So like parents were there for me and everything, but the way that they raised me was more of a fend for yourself environment. And what I mean by that is it was more like, yeah, here's everything to take care of yourself, figure it out. You'll figure it out. And I've always kind of lived off that. So from a younger age, I've always known how to kind of take care of myself. Another reason why I'm my biggest inspiration, and the biggest person that I look up to out of like everybody right now, and I don't mean that like I obviously look up to like other people, like I look up to like other like celebrities and other like people in my life personally, like teachers and like people who have like made it far, and like other, you know, obviously other role models. But out of everybody like in my family, you know, like I'm honestly the one that I've looked to like my whole life, because, you know, I'm the only one that I really can. Nobody else really had me like that growing up. I was kind of not alone, but I was secluded, to say the least. When I was like, I think when I was 3 or 4 years old, my parents got divorced. It was before I could really remember anything. They got divorced. So growing up, I was always back and forth. And that's another reason why, I mean, like, I kind of raised myself, is because it was like every other week I was being passed back and forth between my mom and dad. And it was always like, she said this, he said that. You know, anybody who grew up with divorced parents kind of understands what I mean by that. The, like, he said, she said kind of thing. It's like, what did he say about me? What did she say about me? So I was always in that environment growing up, and it never really it's never really good for the kid or anything. But I didn't turn out too bad, I'd say. Over the years, it's kind of gotten worse too, because like my mom, she's like slowly lied about more things, and not necessarily lied. She said truths about certain things and lied about certain things, and they've both exaggerated certain things. And like all relationships go, like arguments start and they snowball effect to the point where now I'm on my own and I don't really talk to any of them anymore. I mean, I talk to my mom every now and again, and my dad is the one that I more frequently talk to. My mom was always there for me, but my parents, they were always very childish. So they were there for me, but emotionally they weren't. At the end of the day, you know, they're my parents. I love them. I'm going to probably within the next week end up talking to them and whatnot. So I don't want you guys thinking that I just completely don't talk to my parents, because I do. I love my parents. But at the same time, like any kid, with both of my parents, I've ended up coming to a disagreement with a multitude of things in life. Right now, I'm living with my grandparents, and soon I'm going to be living on my own, which I'm really striving for. But I love my grandparents so much. No hate to my grandparents at all. But when I'm living with them, they kind of try to form me into somebody that I'm not. For instance, they've tried to, you know, force like 7 different careers on me. It's not a bad thing, because I do need a career, but at the same time, it's not me. It's stuff that I could definitely experiment with in the future, and it's not something that would be bad for me. Like, I should definitely go get certifications in certain things. I should definitely check out like the Army and whatnot. I should definitely expand my roster on career paths. But at the same time, you know, like I want to be doing that. Like I want to have like the drive and the motive to do that. I don't want it to be something that somebody else tells me to do. It's not my grandparents' fault. Like they're such sweethearts, and full love to my grandparents. I love them. They do honestly the best job at raising me out of any of my parents. My parents were, like I said, they're children. They weren't really there for me, and out of responsibility and out of parental experience, my grandparents, they parent me the best. You know, that's all I can say. My work experience has been pretty average, I'd say. My employment started at the age of 17. I got my first job at Subway, and I worked there for about 6 months. And the way I got fired actually is so crazy. The man behind the camera actually walked into my Subway with me one day, and they told me that I was supposed to be working. And I was like, "You're joking, right? You're messing with me." And they were like, "No, if you don't walk home and get your uniform on and come back, then you're fired." And I was like, I'm fired, and walked out. Started crying, not gonna lie, because that was messed up. Your boy was in his feels for a little bit, focused on school for a little bit, honestly, and then I ended up getting a job at a grocery store, which was my last job. And this kind of goes into where like I had like a big upgrade in life. My life started to kind of like uprise, and I started to like really go up in life, and it was really cool because I never really had too much. After working at Subway, I lost $2,000 because my family was in a really bad situation, and they just had to go to like bills and stuff like that. So it's no big deal or anything, but it was just most of the money that I made at the previous job ended up just vanishing in my eyes, and I wasn't really used to that since I was so young. And then I got this job at IGA, and I started working at IGA. I started making a decent check. I was paid weekly. I started making a decent amount of money, and at that time, then my mom was like, "Hey, I know I really haven't really been there for you. I'll try to make up for it materialistically," which was kind of a fucked up way of coming in and trying to be there for me. But at the same time, I'm not saying that I don't appreciate the thought of it, but she did try to make up for a big gap of time by buying me a $2,500 computer. So I'm working at this job now. I have this badass PC, my dream setup. My dad is really there for me. Me and my dad are starting to have a really cool relationship. I'm starting to make consistent money. I'm bringing food home, and I start to have issues because I start working a lot, and it was honestly, I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but it was honestly just issues that I had with the household, and it was stuff that I shouldn't. It wasn't really my say, but it was because I was trying to be more independent, and honestly, I need to be more independent now. And I was just trying to be more independent while I was there, and they didn't like that. So me and my dad ended up getting into a really big argument while I was working at this job, and I ended up having to quit the job because my dad kicked me out. So I'm working at this job, and it's very consistent, and I'm making really good money. And like I said, me and my dad kind of started getting into it, and once we really started getting into it, it kind of like hurt me because I feel like I kind of felt like, like it's my dad. I feel like if I say something, not necessarily if I say something like he should take it like wholeheartedly, but like if I suggest something, like he should at least consider it and listen to it instead of taking it as if I'm trying to like tell him. Me and my dad's biggest argument was it was a big misunderstanding. He misunderstood the point that I was trying to get across. He always thought that I was trying to tell him like I knew more than him, but that was never the case because I know I'm only 19 years old. Obviously, I don't know more than a 40-year-old man, but I did know that the situation that we were in was not a good situation, and I knew some certain steps that weren't being applied that could have been applied to make our situation a little bit better. And he always took those as I was talking down to him, and I was always trying to tell him that I knew better and I knew what to do, but that was just not the case. And I feel like me and my dad always had like this really horrible misunderstanding that kind of set like it planted like a horrible like depression in me, and it kind of made me resent him a little bit over time because it kind of made me feel like he never really listened to me, and that was like a horrible feeling. But after me and my dad got into this like really horrible argument, it finally got to the point where he kicked me out because I had enough with the situation that we were in, and nothing was being changed about it. And he finally was like, "You know what? I'm tired of you trying to comment on the situation that we're in. It's none of your business." And I was like, well, it kind of is my business because I'm not eating, and that's something that I don't really want to get into, but like it was kind of my business because like it was stopping me and the whole family from like eating to at that point. And I was like, yo, this is like I gotta get out of here. And he was like, I'm kicking you out. And I was like, that's fully fine, I'll leave. And that gets to the point where I am now, because once he kicked me out, that job that I had that was really consistent, it just ended. The consistent cash flow that I had just stopped. A lot of that money that I had made at that job too ended up just going to food because, like I said, the situation that I was in just wasn't good. So I had to I had to pay for a lot of food, and the money that I had saved up ended up just going to food and stuff like that. So now I'm just at a point where I'm coasting along right now. I'm living with my grandparents, and I'm honestly job searching in a big city. It is a little scary because, you know, I got to get to know the environment, but I feel like in a good 2 to 3 weeks I'll have a decent job. Either that or, well, honestly, my excuse right now is that I'm going through school and I'm just trying to get out of school because I've been in this same program for 3 years. So I'm just honestly trying to get out of this program, and once I do that, I can get a consistent, real job, which I'm trying to go to the National Guard after I get out of this program because it'll give me my actual diploma. So yeah, that's about where I am right now. No, it's not where I want to be at all. I'm very discontent where I am right now too, because the standpoint that I am in with my parents, it's very hard to be in these arguments and these quote unquote battles with your parents, because, you know, at the end of the day, I love them with my whole heart, and I wish with all of my heart that these problems would just disappear and we could just go back to where I could just, you know, conversate with them without, you know, it being an argument the whole time, and it'd just be like love both ways, you know, with both of my parents. But it's just coming to the point where now I do not necessarily live on my own, but I live with my grandparents, and it's discontent. Like, I love my grandparents with all my heart, and they're doing such a great job, but it doesn't fill the hole in my heart that I have from not having that relationship with my mom and my dad. Considering that I am unemployed, don't have the most money right now, and I'm, you know, kind of just coasting. But once I do get out of this school program that I'm in, I'm about to get my high school diploma, and I'm gonna go apply for the National Guard, go to basic training, I'm gonna go to basic training, and then I'm trying to go to the National Guard, and hopefully, because they have this however much sign-on bonus, which that's not what I'm worried about. I'm not really going there for the money. I'm going there to honestly build more self-discipline, and because, like I said, the situation that I'm in right now, I don't have the best self-discipline. I don't have the best motive. I don't have the best drive, and I don't have the best idea of where I want to go in my life. And I feel like a program like the National Guard, or just the Army in general, would really open up my eyes to a lot of things, because I feel like basic training would teach me a lot of self-discipline, because I'm also like, I'm a very big physical guy. Like, I already work out like on a daily basis and stuff, so like the physical part, like, it wouldn't be too hard, but it'd build me physically, it'd build me mentally, it'd get my head right, it'd get my drive right, it'd get my motivation right, and it'd honestly make me a better person overall. So that's honestly going to be the first step I'm doing to get out of my not ideal situation right now. But honestly, a dream of mine, if this National Guard thing, if I end up making money off of it, I kind of want to start my own like studio, and I want to make music, and I want to make videos, and I just want to continue with the media for as long as I possibly can. And honestly, the best situation that could possibly happen is if I do end up making a little bit of money, I could, you know, eventually one day start making videos for a living, or editing for people, or making music, or some form of audio technician, or something like that, some form of creative output, because I always want to stick to my roots. Even after going to some big program like that to try to change my life, I always want to, you know, stick to the whole media thing, and the whole making videos and making music. And at the end of the day, you know, at the end of the day, I've just learned that if you don't really believe in what you're doing, you're not going to be happy, and nobody else is really going to be there for you at the end of the day. I mean, there's going to be your mom and your dad, and there's going to be obviously your friends and stuff like that. I'm not trying to tell you nobody's going to be there, but nobody's going to be there for you like you're going to be there for you. Like, nobody's going to love yourself like you're going to love yourself. So what I'm trying to tell you is, you just got to love yourself, and try to follow what you want to do, because that is going to make you happy at the end of the day. And the path that you follow, is going to make you happy. This interview has been a great time. My name is Jaedyn Graham. I'm 19 years old. I'm from Springfield, Illinois, and thank you. No, so the we're never gonna get this interview done. I've come to a conclusion. I'm too dumb to be interviewed. No. Don't. You can put this in there if you want, but don't be me, kids. I don't know if you can get that, but there's a bag floating right now in the background. I don't know if you want to point the camera. There's a bag. You should zoom in on that. There's a bag. Just flying. Yeah, I thought it was a bird at first, but no, that is a bag. That is crazy. All right. So back to what I was saying. Yeah, the bag's back. It's all right. It's all right. We don't need to talk about the bag anymore. It disappeared. It was like Batman. It came and then it went. It was kind of like my parents. So